Okay, we're going to look at a way of writing riffs using inversions, and we're going to stick with this E minor for now. And the reason for that is because it kind of shows you how much music you can make out of very, very little. I've seen people make DVDs with 500 chords and not make any music whatsoever. And I've seen people, make music with 1 chord and 2 chords and it sounds amazing. And that's very important to keep in mind. So let's look at some inversions of this E minor chord starting on the low E string. So if you remember, we had our root, 3rd, 5th. And so if we go root on the E, 3rd on the E, and then 5th on the A string there, and we have this. If we take the first inversion, we can go G note being the 3rd on the low E string, 5th goes onto the A string, and then the E goes up an octave as it did before. But don't take these as specific rules, because what you're trying to do is write music. So in other words, if you do like the sound of that slide, then you do that slide. Don't stick to any kind of rule book. Even if you're working with an inversion and you end up playing completely different notes, it doesn't matter. What matters is writing music. If this E minor triad ends up being a rock and roll tune in F sharp, it doesn't matter. You've got to kind of just put your antennas up and allow the stuff to happen. Okay, but it's good to have a few ideas to kind of kick you off. And if a basic E minor thing ends up being the riff, then why not? So, and with that spirit in mind, let's take an idea like this. I'm going to miss out that G, that first inversion. I'm going to go, and then the second part of the riff, I'm going to use that G for the first inversion. So I've got, and I like that. I like that on its own. Now, 4th time round, a lot of times in the 4th bar of a piece of music, you might try and create a little bit of tension by doing something else. So I'm going to move up to my second inversion, starting B on the low E string, E on the A string, and then the G is going to be on the D string. And so I might go, okay, now probably not the most interesting riff in the world, but it is something. And now what we might want to do is add a little bit of rhythm to it, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So we might go, and so what I did there was I used a D note, open D. Now I like that. What did I do? Now I'm starting to make some music, and what I'll normally do with something like this is I'll get a drum beat that I like. In that case, I kind of did it the other way around, but the beat would be a boom, 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 boom. And so I'll get that, and then I'll start to mess around. And then when I come up with these different little ideas, I'll record them, and then I'll just basically snip out the bits I like until I come up with the riff that I really like. So we had that. Okay, now I used more of a blues idea, but I've got the arpeggio there. And here we have root position again. So you and that's just a really, really good way of of experimenting and writing riffs. And another way could be, and there is so many ways you can't cover them all, it's impossible. But another way would be, say, an octave. So there's the E. Now we might want to go to a G. And then I went to a B. So I had I've got a riff there, I could change the timing. So it's just showing you that just with these different applications, like any good musician knows, it is not what you do, it is the way that you do it. It absolutely is. It's taking these very simple basic concepts and adding rhythm, adding accentuation, whatever the word is, bends, slides, attitude. Another great way, let's take just a pedal on an open E, typical maybe metal idea. Now let's put that in with our octave idea. Now let's make these 5 chords, you know, your typical power chord. Now we're still using an E minor triad. All we're doing is adding a 5th to each note. And one other thing that can be really great for composing using these ideas is what I like to call rhythm and space. So if you've got a drum beat going and you're like, I mean, it really does go on forever, and I mean, I would bore you to death if I just kept going with, you know, idea after idea after idea. But that gives you an idea on how to take that triad and make some riffs with it.